Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. Now, are you a creative and curious and/or lifelong learner? Well, Skillshare is definitely for you. For those of you guys viewing this video, you might be interested in some of the classes they have available, like graphic design, film and video, animation, illustration, and much more. It's curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. One class I enjoyed taking was YouTube Success, Script, Shoot, and Edit with MKBHD, taught by Marques Brownlee. Marques Brownlee, a YouTube legend, inspires me to be a better and more entertaining content creator, and with this class, I know my content creation will really level up. And now I like to say Skillshare has a special deal going on right now. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. Make sure to check the description down below for the link. Again, I'd like to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get into it. Before we get started with this video, I just want to let you guys know, mid does not mean bad. Let me repeat that. Mid does not mean bad. Literally, mid is the first half of middle. Mid means middle. Mid means all right. Mid means okay. And Mashle, well, after reading the first volume, I'm not even sure if I can call it mid. What's up, you guys? Chase the Dark Sage here, and today we are back with another video. And in today's video, we are talking about Mashle, magic and muscles. In a world full of people born with magic, a magicless person is born within the series named Mash. And instead of him having magic, he uses his muscles. Hence the name Mashle, magic and muscles. That sounded a lot better in my head than me saying it out loud. And now that I think about it, it never sounded good in my head. Shonen Jump, what was you thinking? But like I said, today we are talking about Mashle, and I read the first volume on stream, and I kind of tortured my chat with reading Mashle. And if you don't watch me on Twitch already, go ahead, link is in the description down below. But we read the first 8 chapters, which is basically the first volume of Mashle. And if you guys do not know, I have recently picked up Mashle. Here's my proof right here. And obviously I had to pick up Mashle because, well, it's a Shonen Jump title, and you guys know that I am a Shonen Jump stan/Shonen Jump fanboy on this channel. So I had to read it. Just like how I had to read Undead Unluck. I had to read Sakamoto Days, which Sakamoto Days is fire. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead, check it out on the Shonen Jump app. Not a sponsor, but if they do want to hit your boy up, Shonen Jump, I'm free. But as a Shonen Jump stan, I have to read some of these newer Shonen Jump titles. I haven't read all of them, but I have read the big hitters. You get what I'm saying? Like the big name ones. And Mashle to me, it's falling in that Undead Unluck territory, meaning it's not really connecting with me. But I will say there are some things about Mashle that I did enjoy. But before we get into the video, and before I tell you the things I like and I did not like about Mashle, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and hit this video with a like, and I'm gonna need you to subscribe and hit the post notification bell if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, and go ahead and follow me on all my other social medias in case you want to argue with me about the greatness of Mashle. And I know Mashle is about like 70 chapters, 80 chapters in by the time I'm recording this video. I only read the first 8 chapters. I'm not talking about the whole series when I talk about Mashle, guys. I'm just talking about the first volume. But yeah, all my links will be in the description down below. So, I'm clapping like how Mashle be clapping cheeks in the series. I know his name is Mash, but I call him Mashle because the series' name is Mashle. I don't know. But like I was saying, let me go ahead and talk about the plot real quick. Basically, Mashle, or well, I keep calling him Mashle. Basically, Mash, the main character of the series, is born within a world where there's a whole bunch of magic wielders, and he's essentially the one person who isn't born with magic. We've seen this trope in Shonen Jump titles such as My Hero Academia and obviously Black Clover, which this series seems to be a blatant child of Black Clover fused with One Punch Man, fused with Harry Potter in the middle. And I really don't like magic like that. But Black Clover is pretty chadly, so the magic is all right with me in Black Clover. But in this series, Mashle, Magic and Muscles, like I said, this guy is born into a world where everybody has magic, but he is born without magic. And well, he works out a lot, so therefore his muscles overcompensate for him not having magic. And this situation sometimes causes for funny situations to happen within this series. And most of it is a comedy series, but I know there's a tournament arc in there because I have a super dope Shonen Jump cover with Mashle on the front cover, and I've showed it in the previous video before. But I know that it's mostly a comedy series as it's starting out right now, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna go way more into action later on, something like One Punch Man probably. But when it comes to the story, Mashle essentially has to go to this academy. He has to eventually become the #1 student, so that way him and his well, stepfather could essentially live a peaceful and quiet life, kind of like Yoshikage Kira from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. But that is the plot for the story. I'm not going to go too in depth about the story because obviously I haven't read too much, but that's what I've gotten from the story so far. And let me go ahead and go into the pros and the cons real quick. I don't intend for this to be a super long video, especially since I only read one volume of it, but let's go ahead and go into the pros. I guess that was pros. Nah, I'm just playing. Look, don't kill me, guys. Don't kill me. Look, I'm gonna talk about some real pros. One pro is, and I know this doesn't make the series like a huge milestone different compared to a lot of the other Shonen Jump series, but Mashle, well, Mash, I keep calling him Mashle, but Mash is somewhat of an idiot. Like, Mash is very oblivious to certain things. He's very blunt, and sometimes his strength gets him into situations that doesn't really need to get him in those situations. Or sometimes he's put in the situations by others who are very oblivious to Mash's feelings itself. But I do gotta say that I do like the character of Mash so far. Obviously, he doesn't have the greatest of intentions, but I mean, he's a pretty good guy overall. Secondly, so far from the stuff I've read, I've kind of liked the situations where they actually use Mash's strength against magic itself, and obviously he does defeat magic that is thrown at him because his muscles are definitely way stronger than the magic that is actually thrown at him, physically and figuratively. And that actually might be it for my pros. Wait. I do have one more pro now that I think about it. The one more pro that I do actually have about Mashle is that there are some funny moments within Mashle, but honestly, a lot of those funny moments are kind of the same thing or kind of similar from what I've seen from One Punch Man. If you guys don't know, I'm a huge fan of One Punch Man, so let's actually go into the cons because I don't really have a lot of pros with this actually. Now that we're into the cons of this thing, let's go ahead and rip into this series and give you my full critique of it. Now, I'm not gonna say that I went to this with bad intentions, but a lot of people already told me that this series is Black Clover put with One Punch Man together. And while we was reading on stream, we had to add in Harry Potter in there because there's a lot of hocus pocus, levitatus type stuff in there, and I don't really like that type of stuff. I'm glad that Black Clover doesn't do any of that. But needless to say, I do have to say the one thing with Black Clover, and it starts off a lot like Black Clover in the sense of Mash is put into a situation where, oh, these magic wielders are about to defeat him. He has to go into this little entry exam type of thing to go into the school or whatever, just like how Asta had to go into this entry tournament thing in order to get into one of the squads like the Black Bulls. And obviously Mash comes triumphant within this scene because his muscles give him the strength to do it, just like how Asta became triumphant within that scene because he's been training physically a lot during his life to overcome some of the magic wielders itself. You see where the similarities are coming together on this one? You get what I'm saying? Another kind of actually have to list in this list of cons is that Mash starts off like Saitama at the beginning of One Punch Man. And I mean the beginning of One Punch Man as in he's already overpowered, he's super powerful, just like how Mash is already overpowered / super powerful at the beginning. They even have a panel in Mashle where he literally does the okay face just like Saitama did when he was fighting Boros.
Oh! Somebody! Oh! He needs some milk!
Yeah, I think that the creator of Mashle really isn't trying to hide that he was inspired by Black Clover and One Punch Man. He wanted to put the two together. I guess One Punch Man is doing real good in Shonen Jump, and Black Clover is doing really good in Shonen Jump. And Shonen Jump was like, yo, we need something to put both of these series together in one, so that way we can make a third cash cow in this bad boy. So they came up with Mashle because, like I said, Mashle, and I don't think that every single Shonen series that's coming out is super original, but this one is blatantly inspired and takes from a lot of these newer gens, which is really rare for me to see nowadays. Usually you see a newer gen taking from some of the older gen stuff, like how kind of Jujutsu Kaisen kind of takes from Naruto and Bleach. Well, this one takes from newer gen. So this new gen, this is a baby new gen. It's basically like you have big brothers, but you want to be just like the middle child. You get what I'm saying? Like the baby brother wants to be like the middle child instead of the actual oldest child in the family. And one of my third cons with this series is that I found a lot of the comedy and a lot of the situations to actually be very predictable. Now, I'm not going to say that I didn't laugh at some of these scenes, but honestly, a lot of them were very predictable, taking away the funny aspect. Some of the scenes were repeated, things like that. And like I said, a lot of the scenes just did not hit for me comedy-wise. And honestly, I really can't say anything. You might laugh at it, but if you're not well knowledgeable or well acquainted with some of the Shonen Jump tropes of comedy and things like that, then you probably won't see this stuff coming. But I've read a lot of Shonen Jump series, and a lot of the comedy that happens in this series, well, like I said, I seen it coming. So it didn't really have a lasting effect when it came to the comedy. Now, obviously, some of the cast in this series as well, which is another con, is not really memorable. There is one character I do like, and that is the character of some girl that eventually falls in love with Mash, and she literally twists Mash's words from what she hears him say, and she puts it into what she wants to hear him say. And I think that that is hilarious. I actually kind of love that comedy aspect from that character right there. But besides all that, so far we kind of are getting a little bit of a gang type of feeling from some of the other side characters of Mashle, but honestly, they're not having a lasting effect so far within Mashle. But like I said, I'm only judging this based off of volume 1, which is the first 8 chapters of Mashle. So guys, if you have read Mashle, let me know what you think about it down in the description. Who's texting me at this time? But like I said, guys, if you have read Mashle, let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. But if you haven't read Mashle, go ahead, check it out on the Shonen Jump app. $1.99 a month. Like I said, not a sponsor, but check it out for $1.99 a month. Right now it has over 70 chapters, so there's a lot more of Mashle for me to read. But so far from what I have read, I cannot say that I do recommend this series. There are way better series in the Shonen Jump catalog that I can recommend you that are actually newer gems, like Black Clover and One Punch Man. And those two series aren't the best of the best, but those two series are definitely better just from the first volume of what I've read from Mashle. But that's about it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. I want to make a quick review of Mashle. I'm not hating Mashle. I'm not saying Mashle is bad, but it's definitely something that was inspired by a lot of newer gens from recent years rather than older years. But like I said, Mashle is a little bit middy right now. It's hidden close to mid, but it's not definitely good. It's definitely not good at all. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you are new to the channel, you have not already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, post notification bell, like the video if you have not already, comment your thoughts on this review as well. And I gotta give a huge shout out to my Patreon pledgers for going ahead and financially supporting the channel, guys. I highly appreciate what you guys are doing for me, financially donating on Patreon. And I gotta give a huge shout out to the YouTube members for also financially donating on the YouTube side of things. I highly appreciate both of those groups of people. And if you guys did not know, if you actually are subbed to the Patreon or if you are subbed to the YouTube membership, you do get early access to these videos. So definitely you probably see these videos a week early in advance. So definitely go ahead and check those out. I think I made the tiers pretty cheap for those who, you know, are economically blessed. And lastly, I got to give a huge shout out to Broke Boy Gang, because those are the people who are actually watching throughout the whole video, already liking, already commenting, already sharing the content, and supporting your boy as much as they can. But I gotta say thank you guys for watching. Dark Sage out. Peace.
Oh! Somebody! Oh! He needs some milk!